My boss threw coffee in my face during the meeting. This is what I think of your worthless ideas. The team sat frozen. I wiped my eyes, trying not to cry. What he didn't notice was the CEO standing in the open doorway. I had a promotion offer by end of day. He was escorted out by security. The coffee was still hot when it hit my face. Scalding liquid ran down my cheeks, into my eyes, soaking through my white blouse. The burn came in waves, sharp, stinging, unbearable. This is what I think of your worthless ideas. Derek spat. The conference room froze. 8 people, 8 witnesses. Nobody moved. I blinked through the coffee, vision blurred. My presentation slides still glowed on the screen behind me. 6 months of research, data showing how we could cut operational costs by 30% while improving efficiency. Derek had thrown his Starbucks venti at my face because I suggested a better way. You think you're so smart? His voice rose higher, echoing off the glass walls. Coming in here with your spreadsheets and your MBA and your college theories. You're nothing but a glorified assistant who got lucky. My hands shook as I wiped my eyes. The coffee dripped onto the mahogany table, into my laptop keyboard, onto the quarterly reports I'd spent 3 weeks preparing. Sarah from accounting stared at her notepad like it held the secrets of the universe. Mike from sales suddenly found his phone fascinating. Jennifer actually turned her chair away from me, facing the window. Nobody said a word. I've been at this company for 15 years, Derek continued, his face red, a vein pulsing in his temple. I built this department from nothing. I don't need some 30-year-old telling me how to do my job. I was 32. He couldn't even get that right. The burn on my face intensified. My eyes watered, but I refused to cry. Not here. Not in front of them. Not again. Clean yourself up, Derek said, turning back to his briefcase. You look pathetic. This wasn't the first time. I'd been working at Meridian Industries for 4 years, a mid-sized manufacturing company in Cincinnati that made precision components for aerospace companies. I'd started as a junior analyst and worked my way up to senior operations manager. Derek Patterson was my boss, the vice president of operations, and he'd made my life hell for exactly 3 years, 2 months, and 16 days. Last month, he'd crumpled my proposal for updating our supply chain software and thrown it at my chest during a client meeting. This is garbage, he'd said, while the clients from Boeing shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Come back when you've learned how business actually works. 2 weeks ago, he'd called me too emotional when I presented data showing his preferred vendor was overcharging us by 40%. You're letting your feelings cloud your judgment, he'd said, even though my presentation was nothing but spreadsheets and third-party audits from Morrison Financial Group. 6 months ago, he'd blocked my promotion to director, telling HR I wasn't ready for leadership responsibilities. I'd found out later from Janet in HR, 23 years with the company, 1 year from retirement, that he'd told them I was unstable and couldn't handle pressure. I'd gone to HR 3 times, filed formal complaints with documentation, emails, witness statements, time-stamped records of every incident. Nothing happened. Derek was untouchable. His numbers were good. His track record was solid. He'd turned the operations department around after the 2019 crisis when the aerospace industry nearly collapsed, saving the company from bankruptcy. What did it matter that he destroyed people in the process? The pattern was always the same. Derek would target someone, usually someone competent, someone threatening his authority. He'd undermine them systematically, block their initiatives, humiliate them publicly, then gaslight them when they complained. I'd watched 3 people leave the department in my 4 years here. Michael Torres, brilliant operations analyst, now VP of operations at Boeing. Jennifer Park, innovative process engineer, now director of manufacturing at Lockheed Martin. David Chen, strategic planning genius, now running his own consulting firm. Good people, smart people, all broken by Derek's systematic destruction of their confidence and careers. I was supposed to be next. Anyone else have brilliant ideas to waste my time? Derek looked around the room, his voice dripping with contempt. No? Good. Meeting's over. Chairs scraped against the floor. People gathered laptops and phones with practiced efficiency, avoiding eye contact with everyone, especially me. They filed out quickly, eyes down, shoulders hunched. Relief evident on their faces that they weren't the target today. I stood there dripping. Coffee pooled on the floor around my heels. Jimmy Choo knockoffs I'd bought at DSW. $89 on sale, now ruined. My face burned. My blouse was destroyed. My laptop screen flickered once, twice, then went dark, dead. Derek packed his briefcase, whistling. Actually whistling. Some classic rock song I couldn't place. Maybe Eagles, maybe Fleetwood Mac. Oh, and Sarah? He didn't look up, just kept organizing his papers with meticulous care. Next time you want to embarrass yourself, do it privately. This was painful to watch. My throat tightened. The humiliation was worse than the burn. I could feel my carefully constructed professional mask cracking, could feel the tears building behind my eyes. I tried to think of something to say, something cutting, something that would make him feel even a fraction of what I felt. Nothing came. I reached for my laptop, closed it. Coffee dripped from the edges. The keyboard was soaked. 4 years of work files, client presentations, research. My entire professional life stored on a machine that was now probably destroyed. Leave it, Derek said. It can deal with it Monday. If there's anything worth saving, which I doubt. I need my files. I said leave it. His voice sharpened. You're dismissed. Go home. Clean yourself up. Come back Monday ready to do actual work instead of wasting everyone's time with fantasy proposals. I picked up the laptop anyway. Put it down. His voice had gone cold. Dangerous. The tone he used right before he destroyed someone's career. I set it back on the table. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped it. Good girl, he said, condescending, patronizing, like I was a dog being trained. Now get out of my conference room. I grabbed my purse, started walking toward the door. Actually, wait. I stopped, turned. Derek was smiling. Not a pleasant smile, a shark's smile. I'm going to need your badge, he said. My stomach dropped. What? Your building access badge. Hand it over. Why? Because I'm suspending you. Effective immediately. 2 weeks unpaid suspension for insubordination, disruptive behavior, and wasting company resources. The room tilted. You can't. I can. I'm your supervisor. I have full authority over departmental discipline. He held out his hand. Badge. Now. This is retaliation, I said. My voice came out smaller than I wanted. I presented a legitimate proposal. You threw coffee at me. You assaulted me. I threw coffee near you. You moved into its trajectory. Poor spatial awareness on your part. He wiggled his fingers. Badge. I'm calling HR. Go ahead. Janet loves me. We've worked together for 15 years. Who do you think she'll believe? He was right. I knew he was right. Janet had dismissed my last 3 complaints with variations of, Derek's under a lot of pressure, and maybe you're being too sensitive. I reached for my badge. It hung on a lanyard around my neck, the one I'd bought at the company store, navy blue with the Meridian Industries logo in silver. Sarah, don't. It was Mike from sales. He'd stopped in the doorway, half in the hallway, half in the room. This isn't right. Mind your business, Mike, Derek said, not looking at him. Unless you want to join her suspension. Mike's face went white. He stepped back into the hallway. Disappeared. I unclipped the badge, held it in my hand. 4 years of access. 4 years of proving myself. 4 years of arriving early and staying late and doing everything right. Gone. I set it on the table. Excellent. Derek picked it up, examined it like he was checking for counterfeits. Security will escort you from the building. You're not to access company property, company email, or company systems until your suspension is reviewed. If you do, we'll terminate you for cause, and you'll forfeit your severance package. I don't have a severance package. I'm not being terminated. Yet, Derek said. We'll see how the review goes. Spoiler alert, it won't go well. He pulled out his phone, dialed, waited. Yeah, this is Derek Patterson in operations. I need security to conference room 3B. I have an employee who needs to be escorted from the building, suspended for disciplinary reasons. Pause. Yeah, she's still here. Send someone up. Thanks. He hung up, smiled at me again. They'll be here in 3 minutes. You can wait in the hallway. I need to lock up the conference room. My legs felt weak. This was happening. Actually happening. He was having me escorted out like a criminal. I walked into the hallway. My heels clicked on the tile. Coffee still dripped from my hair, my blouse, leaving a trail behind me like breadcrumbs. Sarah from accounting was still there, hovering near the elevators like she wanted to help but didn't know how. I'm sorry, she whispered as I passed. This is so wrong. Then say something, I said. She looked at the floor, said nothing. Jennifer from marketing appeared from around the corner, saw me, saw the coffee stains. Her eyes widened. Oh my God, Sarah, don't, I said. Just don't. I kept walking, past the cubicles, past the break room where I'd made coffee every morning for 4 years, past the water cooler where people gathered to gossip, past the bulletin board with the company values printed in big letters, integrity, respect, excellence. What a joke. The elevator dinged. 2 security guards stepped out, both large men in navy uniforms. One was older, maybe 50, gray hair, kind face. The other was younger, 30s, muscular, expressionless. Sarah Chen? The older one asked. Yes, I'm Officer Mike Reynolds. This is Officer David Kim. We've been asked to escort you from the building. I know. Do you have any company property on you? Laptop, phone, documents? My laptop's in the conference room. Derek wouldn't let me take it. Okay, we'll make a note of that. He pulled out a tablet, started typing. Any other company property? No. Purse? It's mine. Personal. Mind if I check? Just to verify. Standard procedure. I handed him my purse. He opened it, looked inside, closed it, handed it back. You're clear. Let's head down to the main entrance. We walked to the elevator. All 3 of us. Me in the middle like a prisoner being transported. The elevator ride was silent. 45 seconds that felt like 45 years. The doors opened to the main lobby. Glass, chrome. The Meridian Industries logo carved into the marble wall. A compass rose because we guided aerospace innovation according to the marketing materials. People stared. A receptionist I'd smiled at every morning for 4 years watched with wide eyes. 2 guys from engineering stopped mid-conversation. Janet from HR stood near the entrance, talking to someone on her phone. She saw me, looked away. Officer Reynolds walked me to the door, held it open. I'm sorry about this, he said quietly, for what it's worth. Thanks. I stepped outside. The door clicked shut behind me. It was 2:47 p.m. on a Friday in October. Sunny, 65 degrees, perfect fall weather. I stood there on the sidewalk, coffee stained, burned, suspended, humiliated, and completely alone. I made it to my car before I started crying. Not gentle tears, ugly crying. The kind where you can't breathe and your whole body shakes and you make sounds you didn't know you could make. I sat in my Honda Civic, 7 years old, 103,000 miles, house, paid off last year, and fell apart. My phone buzzed, text message. Mike from sales. I'm so sorry. That was fucked up. If you need a witness statement, I'll give you one. I stared at the message. Typed back, you didn't say anything when it mattered. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Mike. I know, I'm a coward. I'm sorry. I deleted the conversation. Another text. This one from Jennifer in marketing. Jennifer, we should have stood up for you. I'm sorry. Delete. Another from Sarah in accounting. Sarah, please don't hate us. We were scared. Delete. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Hello? Miss Chen? This is Janet Forrester from Human Resources. I understand there was an incident today in conference room 3B. An incident? My voice came out sharp. Derek threw hot coffee at my face. He assaulted me. Then he suspended me. I've spoken with Derek. He said there was a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? There were 8 witnesses. Derek says the coffee was an accident, that he was gesturing while holding his cup and it slipped. He's very sorry about that. That's a lie. He threw it directly at me, on purpose. He said, this is what I think of your worthless ideas, and threw it. Silence on the other end. Janet, please. I've filed 3 complaints. I've documented everything. He's been harassing me for 3 years. This is assault. Sarah, I understand you're upset, but Derek has been with this company for 15 years. He's never had any disciplinary issues. Because you ignore every complaint. Michael Torres filed complaints. Jennifer Park filed complaints. David Chen filed complaints. You did nothing. And they all left. I can't discuss other employees. They were driven out. Derek destroyed them systematically, and now he's doing it to me. Sarah. Janet's voice went cold, professional, distant. Your suspension is being upheld. 2 weeks unpaid. When you return, you'll meet with Derek and me to discuss your behavior and whether you're a good fit for this department going forward. My hands were shaking again. My behavior? He assaulted me. That's your interpretation. Derek says it was an accident. Without additional evidence, we have to go with the most senior employee's account. There are 8 witnesses who haven't come forward with statements. If they do, we'll reassess. Until then, the suspension stands. She hung up. I sat there, staring at my phone, watching the screen go dark. She'd just told me, in corporate speak, that Derek was untouchable, that no matter what he did, he'd be protected, that I was disposable. I started the car, drove home, took the longest shower of my life, trying to wash away the coffee and the humiliation and the feeling that I'd just been erased. But the burn on my face remained, and so did the rage. Saturday, October 14th. I spent the weekend researching employment lawyers. Most wanted retainers I couldn't afford. $5,000 up front, $400 per hour after that. One told me assault cases were hard to prove without injuries serious enough for medical treatment. Coffee burns heal, he said. Juries don't find them compelling. Another told me hostile work environment cases took years to litigate and usually settled for less than my annual salary. Is it worth it? He asked. Emotionally, financially, professionally? I didn't know. Sunday night, I drafted an email to the CEO, Catherine Rhodes, the woman who'd built Meridian Industries from nothing, the woman whose book I'd read in business school. I spent 3 hours on it, explained everything, the pattern of harassment, the 3 people driven out, the complaints HR ignored, the proposal Derek had rejected and stolen, the coffee, the assault, the suspension. I attached documentation, emails, timestamps, photos of the coffee-stained blouse, medical records from the urgent care clinic I'd visited Friday night. First-degree burns, they said, nothing serious, here's some cream. I read it 17 times, then I deleted it. Catherine Rhodes probably got 100 emails a day. She wouldn't read mine, and if she did, she'd forward it to HR, to Janet, who'd show it to Derek, and then I'd be fired for going over Derek's head. I was trapped. Monday, October 16th. My phone rang at 8:47 a.m. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Hello? Ms. Sarah Chen? A woman's voice. Professional. Warm. Speaking. This is Patricia Donovan, executive assistant to Catherine Rhodes. Ms. Rhodes would like to meet with you this morning. Are you available at 10 a.m.? My heart stopped. Actually stopped. Yes, I'm available. Excellent. Please come to the executive offices on the 7th floor. Security will have a temporary badge ready for you. May I ask what this is about? Ms. Rhodes will explain when you arrive. See you at 10. She hung up. I sat there, staring at my phone. Catherine Rhodes wanted to meet with me, the CEO. Either I was about to be fired personally or something else was happening. I had no idea which. I arrived at 9:45 a.m., wore my best suit, navy blue, the one I'd bought for my MBA graduation 3 years ago. Hair pulled back, minimal makeup to cover the fading burn on my cheek. Professional, composed, terrified. Security had my badge ready. Ms. Chen, you're expected on 7. Elevators are to your right. The executive floor was different from the operations floor. Quieter, thicker carpet, actual artwork on the walls instead of motivational posters, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Patricia Donovan met me at the reception desk. Mid-50s, gray suit, kind smile. Sarah, follow me. She led me down a hallway, past offices with nameplates, VP of Finance, VP of Human Resources, General Counsel. We stopped at a door at the end. The nameplate read, Catherine Rhodes, CEO. Patricia knocked once, opened the door. Ms. Chen is here. Send her in. I stepped inside. The office was massive. Corner office with windows on 2 walls, a desk that looked like it cost more than my car, bookshelves filled with business texts, awards, photos with politicians and industry leaders, and behind Behind the desk sat Catherine Rhodes, mid-50s, gray suit, steel-rimmed glasses, silver hair pulled back in a perfect chignon, the woman from Forbes, the woman who'd built this company from a $50,000 loan. She stood, extended her hand. "Sarah, thank you for coming." I shook her hand. Her grip was firm, confident. "Please, sit." I sat in one of the leather chairs facing her desk. She sat across from me, studied me for a moment. "I'm going to be direct," Catherine said. "I watched the security footage from conference room 3B on Friday afternoon." My stomach dropped. "All of it," she continued. "From the moment you started your presentation until Derek Patterson had you escorted from the building." She pulled out a tablet, turned it around so I could see the screen. Video footage. Conference room 3B. Me presenting. Derek throwing coffee. The whole thing. "I saw him assault you," Catherine said. "I saw him humiliate you. I saw him take your badge and have you removed from the building." My throat tightened. "I also reviewed your proposal," she continued. "The one Derek rejected. I pulled it from the shared drive trash folder Friday evening." She slid a document across the desk. "My proposal. 63 pages. My name on the cover." "It's brilliant," Catherine said. "Thorough. Innovative. Exactly what we need. I reviewed it with our VP of Finance over the weekend. We believe implementing it across all 3 facilities could save us $3 million annually." I couldn't speak. "Then I pulled Derek's presentation to the executive team from last month," Catherine continued. She slid another document across the desk, the one where he claimed he'd developed a cost-cutting initiative. I looked at it. My proposal, my research, my graphs and charts and analysis, with Derek's name on every page. "He stole your work," Catherine said simply. "Changed the metadata, presented it as his. When you submitted your own version last week, he rejected it to avoid getting caught." My hands were shaking. "I didn't know." "Of course you didn't. He's been doing this for years." Catherine pulled out another folder, thick. "I spent the weekend reviewing HR complaints. Derek has 37 formal complaints filed against him over 15 years from 23 different employees." She opened the folder, started reading. "Michael Torres. Derek blocked my promotion 3 times. He told me I wasn't smart enough to lead. Michael is now VP of Operations at Boeing." She flipped a page. "Jennifer Park. Derek threw a stapler at my head during a meeting. When I reported it, HR said I was being too sensitive. Jennifer is now Director of Manufacturing at Lockheed Martin." Another page. "David Chen. Derek told me I should quit because I'd never succeed here. He sabotaged my projects. He took credit for my work. David runs a successful consulting firm." She closed the folder, looked at me. "We've been letting Derek Patterson destroy our best talent for 15 years because his numbers were good. But his numbers were good because he was stealing other people's work and claiming credit." She stood, walked to the window, looked out at the city. "On Friday afternoon, I was walking past conference room 3B on my way to a board meeting. The door was open. I heard shouting. I stopped to see what was happening." She turned back to face me. "I watched Derek throw hot coffee at your face. I watched 8 employees sit there in silence. I watched him humiliate you, take your badge, and have you escorted from the building." She walked back to her desk, pulled out her phone. "I've already spoken with our general counsel. We're terminating Derek Patterson for cause, assault, harassment, intellectual property theft, creating a hostile work environment, retaliation." My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. "We're also filing criminal assault charges," Catherine continued. "The footage is with the Cincinnati Police Department. Detective Lisa Morrison will be handling the case." She sat down, looked at me directly. "Sarah, I'm offering you Derek's position. Vice President of Operations. $185,000 base salary plus performance bonuses up to 30%. Stock options. Full executive benefits. His corner office on this floor." I couldn't breathe. "We're implementing your proposal company-wide. You'll present it to the board next month and to our investors in December. Your name will be on every document. Your ideas. Your work." She slid a business card across the desk. "This is Derek's attorney. I called him this morning. Derek is being informed of his termination right now. Security is cleaning out his office as we speak." I looked at the card. "Harrison and Mitchell Law Firm. What do you say?" Catherine asked. My voice cracked. "I don't know what to say. Say yes or no. I need an answer by end of business today." I looked at her. This woman who'd built an empire, who'd seen me humiliated and decided to act, who was offering me everything Derek had taken. "Yes," I said. "Yes, I accept." Catherine smiled, actually smiled. "Good. Patricia will handle the paperwork. You start Monday. Take the rest of this week to prepare. Read everything in Derek's files. Learn the systems. Be ready to lead." She stood, extended her hand again. "Welcome to the executive team, Sarah. Derek called me 17 times that day. I didn't answer. He left voicemails. The first few were angry, accusing me of going behind his back and destroying his career. The middle ones were desperate, begging me to tell Catherine it was a misunderstanding. The last one was just him crying. I deleted them all. Mike from sales sent a text. Holy shit. Derek just got escorted out by security. What happened? I didn't respond. Sarah from accounting called. "I heard you're the new VP. Congratulations. You deserve it." I hung up. Jennifer from marketing emailed. "Can we talk? I want to apologize properly." Delete. I spent the week reading Derek's files. 15 years of reports, presentations, strategic plans. Most of them were stolen. I could tell by the writing style, the formatting, the sudden shifts in quality. Michael Torres's work, Jennifer Park's work, David Chen's work, my work, all repackaged packaged with Derek's name. He'd built his entire career on theft,